Welcome back, MTG Joe here. We're trying out a couple different best of one Explorer decks, just seeing how things play out, some of the top decks on Untapped GG. This particular list is got a 63.5% win rate from Platinum to Mythic and Explorer best of one. It's a collected company humans list, so only green cards collected company in the deck. And what we're trying to do is just get a synergy of human creatures. One of the main payoffs is Thalia's Lieutenant, which puts a counter on each human you control, and then gets bigger whenever other humans come into play. You got stuff like Bodyguard for protection, Giant Killer's removal, Thraben Inspector for card advantage, Luminarch for counters, Thalia to tax, Brutal Cathar's removal, Spellbinder to tax. Extraction Specialist is pretty cool because you get to bring back like your Thalia's Lieutenants or Luminarchs to get that value, even though you're not able to attack with them. And then Adeline's just a powerhouse. So we're trying out different decks, seeing what we like, what we don't. I'm still quite fond of Angels in this format. I think it's very good, and it goes over the top of a lot of these creature decks. So we'll see how this one goes. So not historic. We made that mistake last time. Let's play some Coco Humans. Kind of just kept feeling around the edges. I was running Rakdos Sack, like a Chandra version. Didn't really like that much. We fell. We were in like the 900s. Hand's largely okay. I think we'll just keep this. Holy hell, everybody's on Greasefang today. This is 5 out of 6 matches against Greasefang. So I'm going to lead Thalia next, just because a lot of their spells are going to be like their looting effects. So I'm going to lead this, because this is going to force the Deadly Dispute out of them. And I think we're just going to attack in here. Reason being is because then I can protect my Extraction Specialist with getting value out of it. And I think opponents seeing that, no, they're just discarding. They have Parhelion, turn 3, Greasefang. If they have it, they have it. I can't beat that. So this particular version versus like an Abzan version where you get to play General Kudro. That's how my day's been. That is how my day's been. At that point, so what happens is they get back Parhelion, they attack me for 13, they have 2 4/4 Flying Angels left over with Vigilance, I can't push through the rest of the damage. That deck's not... Like, in best of one, it does have a decent win rate. There's ways to attack it, but I've consistently run into it today to the point where they've just been getting me. Okay, this hand's good. So we'll lead on this, go cave here. Depending on what they show on one, well, yeah, so this is definitely a Thalia. This does tax our collected company again, but from what's likely blue-white control, we want to put some tax on them. Okay, so we get the portable hole out of them. Okay, we can stop drawing Lion's deck. I promise you. Naturally, Lotus Field on turn 3 all the time. And the problem is with this Strict Proctor, a lot of our effects are ETB, which shuts it off, basically all our creature effects. So this is just a very humorous 2 games in a row, I would say. Doing this now because they're going to be able to untap. Here we'll just put the most power into the board. And the fact we've kept drawing lands, not great. And this is going to be Settle the Wreckage now. Okay, we see Shark here. Want to keep my Spellbinder around. Hold this back. Yeah. So I have this cave, but we'll play this out. And then we'll hold up Collected Company. But the problem is at this point, they're very likely to just continuously have counter spells or action. We're also at the point where Wandering Emperor can come down. But literally the worst sequence we could have had. I'm gonna do this now because it's likely they find a counter spell. And we'll just concede. They'll have March or something for this. Fateful Absence. This is a frustrating day of Magic. We'll give this one more. I might just cut this video. We'll see. The thing is, you're not... Blue-white in theory should be a decent matchup, but if they're on Proctor, you beat this. But you're also not like super aggressive like mono-red. You have stuff that get hit by veto in the form of Collected Company. Alright, well, we'll try out this one. Let's see how it goes. This is also like a weird one-drop for the deck. Okay, so if I see Xander's Lounge, we're definitely going Thalia on 2. Because it's a one-drop you don't really want to cast on 1 a lot of times. Like if we look at it, like the whole draw of it is the protection element. I'm gonna go Thalia's Lieutenant here. Some sort of Grixis control. I honestly think we're just going to try to push out as much damage as possible. They might be on like Anger of the Gods here. I should have sacked that. But this at least lets them commit 2 to the board. This should be lethal. Okay, so did manage to beat the triple Cravings. That game Thalia actually did something. Thalia is also interesting in this meta. Like, I question if it's even good anymore against blue-white control. Because, like, we saw that game Portable Hole. We saw March. They generally accelerate. They have sweepers still. They just target it and they kind of go about their way. You can slightly throw them off, but there's a lot of creature decks. And Thalia's not doing too much against those. We go first. Let's try this. I'm gonna lead on this because I'd rather probably Thalia on 2 in the dark. Kumano. Okay, so this lets me play around Bone Crusher Stomp. If they do play a creature, it gets the buff. Really would like a land here. Is it? Absolutely not. What are lands? Here I'm gonna take the attack first. Okay, so we see the spell there. Just gonna go Thraben here. Really, again, would have liked the land here. Would have let me go into Brutal Cathar. So the reason there was if they had a kill spell, playing this out naked was just going to get this to die anyways. We could have buffed maybe 2 points of damage. If this is like, is it Prowess spells, then... Okay. I think knowing what we're playing against will be beneficial here. They're going to hit the Spellbinder anyways if they have a burn spell. But this lets me know my Thraben Inspector could poke in for some damage. Okay, see a Braid. Crackling Drake, Ionize. I think we're just going to get rid of the Ionize here. There was some rationale. Okay, so now we're going to want a Collected Company, ideally. Let's do this. Like, if I just keep Catharing them, I could potentially tempo them out, because they're going to be enticed now to play this out. They'll opt here. Because just doing this doesn't do much. We could have tried to draw for land, but still not much on that regard. Crackling Drake comes down. So I can take 5 here. I could flip to Knight. I can Coco here, but Coco's not going to do too much. They're kind of enticed in any case to hit this. I'm worried about like shock potentially. I think we'll do this. That way they take the damage. Depending on the burn spell as well, I can potentially find another Thalia's Lieutenant. The only thing is now they get this Ionize up. Okay, that's fine. I'll take the 5 here. I don't want him to cast any more spells, it's just more damage. That was a terrible flip. Okay, that's actually pretty good. Because now I get to do this. And now that's 2 spells cast, so I get to do here this one, so I have protection here. I think we go like this. No, I think we split the difference here. The reason being they could have 2 burn spells and they get me. which I'll kind of feel bad. Okay, so no priority there. I could have drawn. In case I draw another 1-drop, which we don't. Maybe should get this out of 3 damage range. Could be a right call. Even with this line though, they need to spend 2 spells. Got him. Cathar squad. This deck really wants Esper Sentinel. Just a way to kind of draw cards. It's the one thing we're kind of lacking in this archetype. With the Angels, at least you have the, like the 3-drop. Let's get this one more, otherwise I want to try the Charming Prince version, where you can kind of get back Charming Princes. This is a line from being really good. Tempo. This is an awful matchup. I guess nah, that's gonna be bad. Do this. Want to do this because if it baits out a counter, it also gives me a flying blocker. So we see the guy's snare. Problem being, they're going to have creature every turn, or at least multiple spells. Coco's good here since it lets me force use their mana on their turn potentially. That's annoying. Gonna do this now. Yeah, the Spell Pierce line's killer. We are okay to race, but at this point they're gonna have 6 in the air, and my specialist isn't gonna do much. Like, killing this would have almost been better. But they also, yeah, we're just dead. And this is the problem with this deck. You're kind of clunky. Angel is forgiving because you at least gain some life in between. So it gives you some action and some attack. The one thing I want to try... I want to go down you. So with Charming Prince, it lets us blank all our ETBs. So So I want to try that version out. Just been largely unimpressed with these decks today. It's not disruptive enough. It's not aggressive enough. Like that game we bet against, we won because we happened to draw 3 of our Cathars. Had we not drawn literally 3 of them, their Drakes would have taken over the game. You're weak to flyers. You rely on 4 creatures that are 3 mana that only temporarily deal with an issue. So this is the important thing. When you're trying to find a deck, what works, what doesn't, you want to play these games and kind of go from there. What are we today? Today's not a good day of Magic. I am 2-7. All right. Let's try this out. Okay, this is the Prowess deck. So Thalia at least attacks for a turn. It's annoying though. Jeez, and they got the anger, so now they're gonna draw 2, hit me for 7. And this is what I mean, like, so I'm gonna get rid of this, fully expect this to die. Okay, see Homestead, Homestead. No blocks. Keep this back. We can Coco here, and then I can flip my Moonrage Brute. See what we get here. So now I can get some value. I can block with the Charming Prince here. I think we're just going to take the 4. This is interesting because I'm probably gonna just do this. Gain 3 life. I don't really have anything else in the graveyard. Cool. So what I was going to do there was put the counters on everything I could get into life. I flip over the Brutal Cathar and then kind of get them that way there. All right, so I'm going to wrap this one up. Again, I like Angels better. The big thing in the historic versions, you get just much better cards. Esper Sentinel, Inquisitor Captain, stuff like that. I'll kind of pull up. But let me know what you think. Catch you next time. Thanks for watching.